Hey 3D modeling friends. I have some examples of here what we're working on today. We're working on the modular form, and this one happens to have a lighting fixture added to it so it can function as a lamp in addition to being a sculptural form. And to make this modular form, we're going to be modeling this fin, and we're going to model 18 of them, and we want them to be able to be held together by a disc, or what we might call a hub in here. And so I have a drawing where I've made some decisions about the hub. This is the smaller hub with the hole for the light. This was a test cut. This hole actually was too small, so I need to redesign it slightly larger. But it allows me to show you that we have a large circle with some notches. So I measured my small hub and I've changed the number to 1.18, so that's what I'll model in a minute. And then these notches here, we need to have the distance from the bottom of this notch to the bottom of this notch be exactly 3 inches. So that's what I've written here. From the bottom of the notch to the bottom of the notch, it's going to be 3 inches. We also know the notches are a half an inch deep. So if you add a half an inch on each side, a half an inch plus a half an inch added to 3 inches, that means it's going to be a 4-inch circle overall. So those are the numbers that you're going to see me working with. And then down below here in the drawing, you can see I decided, well, I'm going to make my lower hub because this light is more narrow at the top and it is wider. It needs a larger hub at the bottom. So here we are in a new file, and right here at the top, we're going to right click in the upper level and make new component, and we'll name this component hubs. And we're going to create sketch. We are going to create it on the front wall. See the view cube, how front is facing this way? That's parallel to this. We're going to click on the front wall, and that reorients it directly toward us. I'm going to go up here for the center circle, click in the origin and pull out. And this is where I'm going to make the 1.18 diameter for my hub. I need another centered circle. And this one I'm just going to go ahead and make the overall 4 inches. And now remember we were talking about the half-inch notch. So I'm going to use the 2-point rectangle. I'm going to click and drag. Let me zoom in here so you can see what we're working on. And I'm going to define this. The height of it is going to be 0.5, a half an inch, and the width of it is going to be the thickness, which you could have parametrically defined. Right now I'm just going to type it in, 0.125, enter. Now I need this notch to align perfectly here, so I'm going to show you a new way to align things. And we will use a tool or a strategy, a procedure, by making a point. So create point, and I'm going to come right into this location. Let me come up here first, because you see how there's that triangle that lets me know that's centered. I'm going to create that point there. I have to escape out of point. I'm realizing I want to put a point exactly in the center up there, but right now there's no way to tell it's the center. Here it could divide mathematically in half and find center, so I need to provide a construction line. L for line, hovering over the origin, click, pull up. I'm going to pull up even higher because I'm going to be making another one up there. Escape, I'm going to click on this line and make it into a construction line. I just pressed X on the keyboard. So now when I come back and pick up this point, I can zoom in here, hover right there, and it's finding that perfect intersection, and I can put a point that's perfectly centered there. All right, escape out of that. And now we're going to do M for move. So I'm striking M on the keyboard, and it wants to know, what do you want to move? And I'll say, I want to move all of these things. And then it's going to say, well, how do you want to move it? We've used these first two before. We're going to use this one. It's point to point. So it'll ask, what's your origin point? I'll say, this is the first point, the origin. Where do you want it to go? I would like that point to align with this point. And I click that, and okay. So now we have a very precise move that wasn't too hard to do. Next, we want 18 of these notches patterned around the circle. You guessed it, we're going to go up to create and go to circular pattern, click on that. And so it's asking us, what do you want to pattern? We want to pattern this notch. And it's asking us what's the center point. We want to pattern it around that hub. And so right now, if I pull back further, can you see it's already populating 3 instances? I'm just going to type in 18 instances, presto changeo. We go, okay, that's what we wanted to have happen. It's calculating. There we go. Now we have our first hub pattern. And so I could like pick on this area, and that's what we would extrude in a minute. And let's go ahead. So this was the smaller hub for the top of the lamp. And now let's make the next larger hub. So I'm going to use the center circle again, click in the origin, pull out, and this time I'm going to define as 4.25. That's the diameter. And we need another circle, 0.25. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make a circle. I'm going to hover in the center there and pull out, and I've done some calculating in my head, and I'm going to make this at 6.25. And now I need to come in and do the same thing for the notches for this one. So I'll make it 2-point rectangle, click and drag, and its height is going to be 0.5 inches, and its width is going to be 0.125. Return, and I can define a point up here. Zoom in, center point right there, that triangle, blue triangle, so that's perfectly positioned. And aha, I need this to be pulled up. Let me escape for just a minute. I'm going to click on this end and drag it up, and I will go up and create point again, hover here, click, and now escape. I'm going to do M for move. It's asking me, what do I want to move? I want to move all of this, and it's asking, then I want to tell it I want to use the move type called point to point. It's asking me what's the origin point. This is the origin point, target point. I want it to move here. Presto changeo. Okay, and then all we need to do, be sure to say okay, we need to pattern this. Create circular pattern. What objects do I want to duplicate? It's this notch. I need to click on each of those pieces. And then where will the center point be? That's the origin. It's already populating 3 instances. I will type in 18, return, and there we have our second hub. So lastly, let's extrude these. E for extrude. You want to extrude this area and this area, and I want to extrude it the thickness of the plywood, which is the 1/8 of an inch, or 0.125. Return. There we go. Now we have 2 hubs in our modular form sculpture.